Ugh. Last night was awful, and I'm not going to act like a lot of you diehard Zags fans out there. I am a casual Zags fan, but I have jumped on the bandwagon, and last night was just tremendously disappointing, as it did not even feel as close as 86-70. The almost undefeated season comes to a screeching halt. This one is going to stick for a while. And I don't think you're ever going to quite get over it. I don't think I'm ever going to quite get over it. You get so close to seeing something historical take place, perfection, locally. And then it ends like that. The worst part about it, too, you're never going to hear the end of it either. I mean, doesn't this validate all those people who were, I think, cackling with glee along the way with the idea that the Zags, once they get to the Final Four, are going to run into the same problems that they've run into before? And I know there's some Husky fans out there listening right now who are cackling. I'm sure there's some Cougs fans out there right now who are cackling. I am not. I am truly bummed out by last night's performance because I thought that Gonzaga basketball team was one of the best that I've seen in years, and they didn't even look like they belonged on the same court as Baylor. And this was a fun run. I mean, this was a team that almost went undefeated for the first time in college basketball since 1975 to 1976 with the Indiana Hoosiers. It's been a really long time. It had been done a couple of times before that. UCLA did it. I think San Francisco did it as well. But it has been a long time since anyone even really came close to the actual final game. And boy, they weren't as fast as Baylor. They definitely weren't as strong as Baylor. They weren't as big as Baylor. They weren't as aggressive as Baylor. They weren't as good at shooting as Baylor. And then you just see a bloodbath unfold. I mean, at halftime, I remember thinking to myself, they pulled within 10, and Baylor's got some guys in foul trouble, so I guess this isn't a complete disaster. And I think that's the most enjoyment I got out of the game, and there was one Jalen Suggs fist bump, but right from the get-go, the Zags came out slow. They couldn't handle the basketball. They saw Jalen Suggs out of the game really quickly after a dubious charge call. And it was just all downhill from there. I'll tell you this, as the fan of a sports team that came very close to being undefeated, only to see them lose in the final, this one, you're not going to get over it. I don't think I'm going to get over this. And I don't think that I can, at the same time, look at everything that happened this past season really ever again in the same light, including, yes, that awesome moment that we had in that victory over UCLA on Saturday. Now, that might be just me, and I'm seeing on the text line, 710-710, that no one will remember the Baylor season in front of 0 fans, but everyone will remember the Zags game against UCLA. The loss will be a footnote. The win will live in NCAA lore. I guess I can't look at it in that same way. And for those people who can appreciate what took place, even with the context of yesterday's disastrous loss, I give you guys a lot of credit. I can't do that. I just can't. They got killed. And to me, it's almost as if they never really belonged in the first place. What would have happened that first game against Baylor had it not been canceled? Honestly, I think something similar to this. There are some people who are suggesting the idea, you play this game a bunch of times, there's no way Baylor shoots that well. Regardless of how Baylor shot, Gonzaga couldn't get a shot off. I mean, outside of Jalen Suggs in the second half, by the way, everyone on that team played poorly. Corey Kispert couldn't hit a shot. Drew Timme could not park his tuchus inside the three-point line. maybe I should be giving more credit to Baylor. I mean, I was really impressed by them, and I can't stand that school, that program, the people that have gone to that school. No offense if you're some people out there who I haven't met. I'm sure you're wonderful people, but there is a stereotype that I have about Baylor people because Baylor people do generally seem to be the same for those who have lived in Texas for a long period of time. But they're clearly the best team in college basketball. And now I'm wondering, okay, well, how do the Zags kick the door down? But more so, I'm just thinking about the lost opportunity that maybe wasn't even an opportunity to begin with. When you get that close to undefeated and you lose, you will think about it forever. And yeah, you'll have some good moments, and I'm sure that Gonzaga is not about to fall back off the face of the earth. They've been great for 20 years as a basketball program. They are still going to be better than UW. They are still going to be better than Washington State by leaps and bounds. It's not close. I don't think it's going to be close anytime soon. But, they were that close and got killed.